I'm nothing but a humble student of the tambourine. That's right, we're talking about the tambourine, one of the three most overlooked auxiliary percussion instruments in my opinion. And just like we did with the triangle, we're going to break this down into three simple steps. How to hold the tambourine, where to play the tambourine, and how to roll on the tambourine. In this video, I'm not going to be going over the different types of tambourines or the different types of jingles that are out there on the market or any type of advanced tambourine technique. This is strictly bare bones, how to hold, where to play, and how to roll on the tambourine. How to hold the tambourine. Okay, so I got my tambourine right here and all of its old glory, don't judge. So what you're gonna wanna do is take the tambourine and put it in your non-dominant hand and put it at a nice 45-degree angle and at a little bit of a tilt so that way the head is kind of facing toward you. The reason for this is so that way all the notes are going to be played with the dominant hand. And let's talk about this hole real quick and what it's actually meant for. This hole is actually used for it to be mounted to a stand. Now the only reason you'd want to mount a tambourine to the stand is the same reason why you would want to clamp on a triangle to the music stand. It's because you have so much going on that you need your hands free to be doing other things and you don't have the time to pick up the tambourine. Now this doesn't necessarily mean that you can't put your finger through this hole. I always put my middle finger through this hole so that way I have my ring finger and my index finger ready to mute in case I need to and kind of doing like a little Spider-Man thing. And I always make sure that my thumb is on top of the head right here, and I try to put a little bit more of my thumb on the head than probably is necessary just to make sure that my head of the tambourine is muted and I'm not getting weird overtones or a weird ring that's not the jingles. Here it is again at a different angle. You can see here's my thumb. This is what my hand looks like on the back. Once more from a different angle. Where to play on the tambourine. Now the reason we put it at a 45-degree angle is so that way the jingles are at the perfect angle for them to give a nice crisp jingle, a nice crisp little clap against each other, but at the same time they're not going to ring too much and they're not going to ring too little. Look at the difference if I hold the tambourine straight up and down. The jingles are very loose and maybe they're even hitting each other on their own just by you holding the tambourine. Now watch what happens when I hit the tambourine. There's a lot of free floating that's happening with the jingles and they're clicking each other and they're ringing and they're not self-muting, which is not what we want. It's very hard to control this sound. Now look what happens if I do the opposite and I put it completely flat. Hear what that sounds like. Now, as you can tell, there's a lot of self-muting, but it's actually a little too much. It's not that it's muting itself too much, it's that the jingles are all resting on each other a little too hard, so they're actually jingling a little bit more and at a different rate than what we actually want it to, compared to if we were at a 45-degree angle. Check this one out. Now that 45-degree angle is the best of both worlds. We get a little bit of jingle, but it's nice, it's crisp, and it's very clear to be able to tell what our rhythms are going to be. Here are all three variations again. The straight up and down, totally flat, and the 45. Okay, so let's talk about where exactly we're going to play on this thing. You're going to play on the edge of the tambourine right in front of you, but you're not going to play on the wood. So get as close to the wood as you basically can. You're going to use your index and middle finger along with your thumb to make different types of sound. Now, some teachers talk about like putting them together, making some type of like kissy face or something. I don't know, that never really made a lot of sense to me. I just put all my fingers right on top of each other, or I put my thumb off to the side like this. Now what controls how loud you are is how much meat you actually put on the instrument. In other words, the more fingers you add, the louder it's going to be. So the way this works is that you start with 3 fingers or 2 fingers, and then you just keep adding fingers until you get to your palm, and then ultimately your fist. Your fist obviously being the loudest and most impactful sound that you can get with the tambourine. How to roll on the tambourine. All right, so essentially there are two different types of rolls on the tambourine. You got your thumb or your finger rolls, and you have your shake rolls. Let's talk about thumb rolls first. In order to achieve a thumb roll, you can pretty much use any finger, although the thumb is the most common next to the middle finger. The way you do this is by either properly applying beeswax to the head of your tambourine, which in my opinion you can never have too much of, or by dampening your thumb or finger by licking it. Then you'll take the head of the tambourine and you'll slowly apply pressure. You do not need that much pressure. Usually the weight of the finger or the thumb is basically enough. And that's pretty much it. On to shake rolls. There's a lot of different kind of ways to do shake rolls, but the most common and the easiest is to literally just hold the tambourine by your head or a little bit above and make sure that it is straight up and down. Remember earlier where we talked about that this was bad because it was going to make the jingles really kind of free floating? Well, that's what we want with this shake roll. What you're going to do is you're actually just going to vibrate or quick twitch or kind of shake your entire arm, and it's going to cause the entire tambourine to shake. Now this will be kind of taxing on the arm and you will probably tire out pretty quickly, and that's okay because most shake rolls don't last much more than a whole note. Okay, that's it. Don't underestimate the tambourine or really any auxiliary percussion instrument. They're a lot harder than you think they are, and if you don't give them the time, you're gonna look really dumb in front of a lot of people. All the social media and everything is down below. Like, subscribe, do all that type of stuff so that you don't miss out on further content. And as always, Makla Choco, boom, boom.